Okay, let's see if I'm able to wear the glasses at the same time as the headset. Because I'll be napping today, so I need my eye protection. We are live. Yes, yes. Alan Cole is here. Isaacs is here, or Isaacs. Hello. Okay, so Alan, I'm going to show the t-shirts. I also got some gifts from Harley. I don't know, I don't think I've shown these. There are more signs. Got to make do with what you got. Right? If I knew why it happens, then I wouldn't do it. Snapping half-ish. That's my favorite. It's the law of the West. The first part of this is I hate to do it, but it's the law of the West. Yeah. And a lot of people like that one. Got to make doo with what you got. Yeah. Or I got no choice. Got to make doo with what I got. Hey, Smallzilla's here. Hey, howdy, howdy. Breaking more rocks today, I see. Yeah, always breaking rocks. I'm going to be using this. Looks like a piece of bread, but it's an interesting spall of Georgia chert raw. Keith Ricketts is here. Hey, Rez Tyson. Hello, hello. New people. I haven't seen a couple of you guys before. Dalton is here. Hey, I've seen you before. Well, I've seen your name anyway. Uh, this might be the last time you see this background because I think I might be switching to the other part of the house next week. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because that's a much better area to nap in. With a former bedroom, there's a loft up in here too, so I think I'm going to switch my bed up to the loft because it's a small cot size mattress. Anyways, Brennan's here. Keith says, I'm early today. Yeah. You got here way before Ed, and he's probably not going to show up until an hour into the live stream. Sal is here. What are you doing? I don't know what I'm doing yet. Harley says, definitely an interesting piece of chert. Are there any methods for perfectly splitting a very round spall right down the middle? Sometimes I get really chunky round pieces. Yeah, there's a method for perfectly splitting it. It's called luck methods. The method where you get lucky and do it. Now, in the old days, there's evidence that they used something called bipolar percussion, right? Or bipolar something. I remember bipolar because it's also the name of a psychological condition. But yeah, you can get a big anvil stone, put your little round object on there, and then take another hammer stone and smack the top of the round piece, and you have not only the strike from the top, but you have a counter strike from below, as long as it's hard enough. And hopefully, what that does is it creates a shear plane for the fracture. So it shears it in half. Okay. Now, some researchers think that what happens is when you hit it from the top, it drives in the material and forms a wedge that splits it open, which may also happen as well. But there's a lot of shear forces going on too. Okay. But you can also smack. I've done it before. I'll take a chunk. This is square, but even if it's round, if there's at least a flat enough spot on the round to hit on, you can crack it directly in half just by freehanding it. But it's called luck, a luck percussion hit. Because even with bipolar percussion, or the freehand technique, it requires a bit of luck with both. I've seen people attempt the bipolar and smash the nodule, making it worthless. Alan Cole is here. Yep, yep, yep. I saw you earlier, right? What did I miss? The chat is going super fast. First time catching you live, says Rez Tyson. But your videos got me started and keeps me going. Awesome. Yeah, Keith, leave and come back. Yeah, Brandon says, leave and come back, Keith. Alan Cole says, remember that these are prototype shirts. If people want them, the future prints will be direct to film transfers. The prints will be much more crisp. Okay, well, before we go further, introductions are, my name is Patrick. The channel name is Jack Crafty. I do live streams because I can't travel very often. So instead of trying to go to a nap-in, let's say, to talk with people, I can do this. Now that I have fast internet connection, I got a little modem or router on top of my fridge here. I can sit in my kitchen or in my den right here or my nook, my breakfast nook or whatever you want to call it. And I can do live streams. Yeah, so people can see how goofy I am. And you don't have to go to a nap-in to see that. And I'll nap today. I haven't started yet because I'm waiting for the people who go, when are you going to start? I'm waiting for those people to leave and then we can start. Yeah. The people that go, I just want to see napping. There's so much chat. Where's it going to start? When those people go away, then I'll start. Okay? All right. I don't like it when you say that. Yeah, I know. But tough cookies. Let's see. The like button, remember. Yeah, the like button reminder gummy. Keith says, is that how I can split my marbles? Yeah. You can do what they call bipolar percussion. Yeah. Ed is here. Hey, he's here early. Yeah. Red-eyed Patriot or Michael, I'm out in the creeks hunting artifacts today. Found a few points so far. Sweet. I don't understand how you guys are so lucky finding points that fast. I mean, I've found points before, but it took me hours. And then you strike it rich because there seems to be like a little deposit of a bunch of flakes and parts of points and interesting stuff. And then there's nothing for a huge distance. And then finally, there's a little remnant of a core or something, and then a little flake, and right in this one area. When I was searching for artifacts, that's how it was. It would be nothing for long stretches of this dirt road that I was exploring, but then all of a sudden, there's some stuff. Let's see. Johnny Waring says he enjoys the yapping. I'm glad you do. I annoy myself. When I listen to myself, I annoy myself watching myself. I'm going, I got to do something to improve my communication skills because I annoy myself. Yeah. And I look goofy to myself. Aaron Wilson's here. I sent you an email, had a couple of questions for you before I sent out your goodie bugs. Yeah, I saw that. If there's questions in the emails, I tend to wait until I can actually digest it and then answer. Yeah, so sorry about that. It's not your fault. I've got a couple of emails waiting because they asked questions that I got to think about. Or I got to sit there and actually focus because I tend to try to do more than one thing at once. Yeah, to save time. And I put stuff off that I know I can do a little bit later. Let's see. Andrew Muntz. Yay. Sup, Wes? You're right on point again. Just at the end of all the volatility. Good money day today. Just at the end of all the volatility. Yeah, well, I'm glad the volatility isn't crushing you. Some people don't know how to work those ups and downs. So it's good. I'm glad you're succeeding. Jesse says, awesome auction last round. Yeah, thanks. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's nice when things go smoothly. Yeah, it's very nice when things go smoothly, and it's easy for me to see who won. This one was pretty good. There was only one. Well, I don't know about only one. There was a couple last minute bids that kind of were snipish, but they weren't too bad. Yeah. I've seen some really snipish episodes that were very hard to figure out. And it's a bummer if people can't see other people's bids, so they don't see that they've been outbid. That's I've had to make duplicate items for situations like that, and I'm sending out today or tomorrow one of those. Yeah, someone was sniped really badly, so I offered to make duplicate items in those cases. Luckily, those cases are rare because when I put a priority on making a duplicate, everything else goes to the wayside, and sometimes I don't have enough that I want to make for the next auction, enough time to do what I want. I got sniped on that last one, says Keith. Yeah. Sorry about that. It's not your fault. Alan Cole says, and hello, buddy. Okay, so what was I going to do? Oh, yeah. Before I get too far along, I didn't finish my introductions. If you want to see a video on Flintknapping, just type in Jack Crafty and whatever topic in Flintknapping you want. Someone just asked me today, hey, can you show me a how-to on the indirect percussion? Mm-hmm. Can you show me a how-to? Oh, where you been? You haven't been watching any of my videos because they're all how-to on indirect percussion. Over 2,000 videos on this stuff. And you ask me, well, do you have any videos on it? Well, to be fair, they were commenting on a live stream video. Yeah. Some people don't know. That's true. But some people have been living under a rock. Yeah. I don't get it. When I got on the internet, I knew all the nappers on the internet within, a few months. I checked out all the nappers on the internet, on and off YouTube, and I found like 90% of them. And I was watching all kinds of videos and stuff. So I don't know. Do you guys gravitate to certain nappers and then stay there and then live under rocks? I don't know. Jordan's here. N Doghouse is here. Danny is N Doghouse. Keith says, being sniped doesn't bother me. I've probably sniped a few myself. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you're a good sport. That makes it much easier. Yes, it does. Some people might say, what are you talking about? There's auctions and stuff on this channel. Yeah. Someone else tell them. If you see a blue background in the thumbnail of my video, it's an auction video. I only use blue on the background of my auction videos, so it's easier to identify. But people don't know that. So continuing with the introduction, I have over 2,000 videos. I do a lot of indirect percussion. I invented the behind the knee stuff, the behind the knee indirect percussion, but there's variations that people use, and it's become a lot more popular as far as using indirect percussion of some sort or another. If you want me to answer questions like, where do I get stone? Where do I get free stuff? Can you make this for me? I'm usually going to say, I can't help you. Yeah, I've learned that I can't reveal sources for stone except at Knappings. That's the best place, I think, for stone. And I put links to the Knappings, or I put information about Knappings in the comment sections of my videos now. And I try to keep those Knapping informations updated. And there's no Knappings in Colorado, so don't ask. But yeah, questions like, can you make something for me? I would love to, and I did it in the past, but I can't do it anymore because it kills my productivity. Why does it kill my productivity? Because napping is a risky business. And in order to prioritize and guarantee that I can make something, I have to take into account everything that I break. Maybe I don't have the exact material, so I had to obtain it in the mail and wait for them to come in. Sometimes I've had problems with trying to get rocks in the mail. They come and they're not the right type, or they're not the good quality stuff, or something's wrong with it. So again, those things interfere, and I have a disability in that if it's something that people want and they keep asking me for, I tend to put less priority on those. Like if you keep asking, like when do you think it's going to be done? Can you do it within this time frame? How's it going? I don't want to bother you, but I'm still interested. The more you do that to me, the less interested I am in finishing it. And it's a problem with me with I think it's ADHD, and it's not your fault. It's just some defect that I have that I can't seem to control easily. Okay? So the more you ask me about something, the less I am inclined to make it. Okay? Not that I make stuff quickly anyway, but it just makes it worse, which is completely the opposite. So I tend to It's completely the opposite of a normal person. So I tend to say, nope, can't do it, can't make it. Or I can't shift my priorities to take care of something you need. Or I can't reveal sources of stone for free because if I tell you inadvertently, you might tell a friend of yours, and then they'll tell their friend, they'll tell a friend, and before you get there, somebody in that chain has already been there and picked it all up. Yeah. Anyway, enough for the introductions. Let me see. Where am I? Danny says, chip that dinner plate. Oh, yeah. No, but I can't nap glass in the house. I refuse to. I can't because I've put that restriction on myself. Yeah. Blades and points. Oh, Sal says, I'm sorry, but those questions are funny to me. Yeah, I know. They're funny to me too if I think about it. In the moment, they're like, what am I going to do? I hate this. But it's funny to talk about. Let's see. Ed Gould says, that's why you bid against yourself, Ricketts. Yeah. Alan Cole says, oh, so Keith is K Money? I suppose. Hey, Scott Lauer's here. I missed your entrance. I was yapping. Andrew says, if you see him tapping his fingers, it's an auction. Yeah. Auction time. Let's see. Everyone say hi to each other. Make sure that if there's an international, okay, this is just a suggestion. These guys come in from international areas like the UK and Spain and sometimes even Russia. Okay. Pay attention to those guys because a lot of them are dying for material and hardly anybody ships to the European countries. I ship to those European countries. The reason why I say pay attention to those is because if we can get some kind of network set up to where we can tell the European guys where the other European guys are that have stone are, we don't have to ship overseas. So I hope you guys in Europe and places like Australia and uh, things like that are trying to form networks, and you can use the comment section in here to try to do that within your own countries so it doesn't cost a whole lot to get material. Okay, that's just a side note. Okay. Let's see. Smallzilla says, or Harley says, if anyone wants a great big guide, I wrote one that's pinned at the top of the Flintknapping subreddit r/napping. I tried to assemble stuff for a single point of reference and no account is required. It's excellent. Yeah, I did see that. So everybody, you can look at Smallzilla's post. Yeah, free. Just don't go into the political aspects. When you're on Reddit, don't wander. I noticed that the Flintknapping section is okay. Yeah. Pet needs Joe Rogan likes. Yes. Jim Cooper, hello. Hello, Jim Cooper. Brennan says, I know it's off subject, but my son, notorious food inhaler, has to receive the Heimlich maneuver at school today. He had to receive it after almost choking to black. I don't know what that means. Had to pick him up, and he has a little busted blood vessels all over his face. Oh, dang. That's not good. I'm so lucky I didn't have to deal with that. We only had to deal with one choking incident, and it didn't last, which was, whew, yeah. Out of all those kids, 6 kids, we only had like one choking incident that I can remember, and it lasted a few seconds. It was like popped it right out. You know, the slap on the back actually works, especially with smaller children. As you get older, the slap on the back doesn't really work that well, so you do the Heimlich or uh, fish around in the person's mouth or whatever. Let's see. Mike Mason says nag him. Where is Patrick's ex-wife? Want to ask her if she did that too. Actually, my ex didn't nag me, but what she did was she annoyed me on purpose with other ways. Yeah. And it was some kind of a self-reinforcing thing, so that if she got a reaction from me, it kind of reinforced her image that she was able to influence me. It's that weird thing. Yeah. And break through my barriers and push my buttons. Somehow that gives certain people satisfaction that they know they can push your buttons. Let's see. Baz. What is the best way to nap glass in terms of housekeeping? Is it best to nap it outside on top of a tarp? I find that the best way, yes, the answer is yes, outside on a tarp. But I find the best way to nap glass is within a tent. Just buy a tent. And then you can put the tent indoors or outdoors, and that'll keep the glass from flying, because glass likes to jump. It'll jump in places where you never expect it. You won't see it, especially if you nap clear glass, and it gets to be a big problem. Like, I've walked across the floor in my other house, in my other shop, and there's a little piece of glass sticking up from the wood. It'll embed itself if you step on it. It'll embed itself in the wood floor if you have a wood floor. If you have a tile floor, it doesn't do this. So I like wood floors. Okay, so this one has a wood floor, and my shop had a wood floor. Now, if that little piece of glass stuck in the floor is projecting just a little bit, all it takes is one step across it to brush against the top of that glass shard, and you have a big, long gash in the bottom of your foot. Even a 32nd of an inch sticking out. How do I know? I don't know. Okay, so Ralph's here. Brendan says, very scary since I wasn't there. Yeah, it is very scary when you're not there and your child is in distress. Jim Cooper says, been MIA, old friend, is staying with us, and I've been spending time with him. He's out job hunting, so I made it here. Oh, I see. Yeah, you got a break. He went out job hunting, so you got a break. Danny and Doghouse says, you just made my wait for new tires much more pleasurable. I exploded a tire day before niblets. Oh, dang. I usually go next door and abo nap while I wait. There's landscape rocks and hammerstones. Well, there you go. But you're sitting in on the live stream, which is cool. Ralph has arrived. Buckle up, everybody. Buckle up, everybody. Let's see. Ed says, I saw a girl in a bar choking and went up to her and jerked up an olive from Herber. I don't get it. I read it wrong or something. Mike Tufts is here. Hello, hello. I'll show you something, Mike Tufts. I broke it. Yeah. I feel bad. I broke the fancy bopper with the flakes. These are actual real flakes from a site. I say real because they're old, right? All of our flakes are real. Yeah, I know. But I broke this on a piece of heat treated Buffalo River. See where it broke? And there's a piece there, it broke right where there's a piece of stone that might have weakened that spot. Yeah. So I don't know. What am I going to do? I don't know. Anyways, I feel bad. Let me open this up. This is from Alan. What is it? Is it a crybaby sandwich? You want a crybaby sandwich? I can make you one real quick here. Yeah. Because I know there's people going, it's not napping and it says Flintknapping in the live stream title. What's up? I'm waiting for you to leave. Then I'll start napping. Okay. What is it? I haven't even looked at these. But in emails, Alan sent me photos of these. Yeah. Crafty napper. How do I know? I don't know. I think it's funny that you think it's funny. Okay, but I'm going to start. This is my first attempt at merch, right? This is what I like. I like this. Crafty napper. I want to make shirts with that on there. Yeah. And hats with this. Crafty napper. Okay. And I'm going to start wearing these. Yeah. So that's my attempt at merch. And I don't know. I looked at different ways to sell merch from websites. For now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to figure out how to work with you guys, like with Alan, to see if we can work through him. And I may or may not get a cut. I don't care if I get a cut from that merch when I'm starting out. Okay, I want to just explore the idea and get feedback, and then I'll figure out how to get a cut from the sales. Right now, I don't care about getting money from the sales of these T-shirts and stuff. I just want to learn how to do it first. Okay? All right. So, I mean, those things, those T-shirts, if you want to buy one, you can buy one at cost. I won't mark it up. And you'll pay for shipping too, right? So it doesn't cost me anything. So, but I need to get with Alan and get exactly how much it is. I think he said the cost of that was $15 just to make the shirt, right? And to send it, it's about, I guess it's about $5 shipping. It's cheaper the more you buy, yeah. But that kind of gives you an idea. And I'm not going to take a cut from that if I sell one. Not yet. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to get them made for everybody. Let's see. Jordan says, love this shirt. Yeah, I do too. It looks pretty damn good. I said a bad word. Looks pretty damn good. I like it. Yes, I do. Yeah. I got other ideas too. Don't worry. People will look at you and go, what? What's a snapping half-fish? You need a license for that? You need a license to catch that type of fish? No. Tommy Taylor says, I hit the like first thing, Keith. Awesome. Yeah. Ola from Colorado Springs. Fritz. I haven't seen you before. Fritz Fondona. Interesting. We got some new people on this one. Let's see. Put a couple in the auction, Patrick. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll put a couple in the auction. Or all of them, because I got more than just those two. I think this says the medium. Okay, there's two that are medium. And this one is this one's a large. So there's two that are large and two that are medium. I'll put them in the auction. Yeah. Very good. And thumbs up to our buddy Alan Cole for making those. Yeah, awesome. Or for having those made. He didn't make them. He had those made. Yes. Let's see. Yuri Kurtz. Hello, can I speak with your manager? I don't have a manager. I am the manager. You're speaking to management right now. That's why I have these live streams. Yeah. Unless that's some kind of joke that it went over my head. I don't know. Tommy Taylor says, anyone else feed want to buffering or just on my end? Oh, dang. Is the feed not good? Dang it. Alan Cole says, no buffer here today. Close out the app and come back. Yeah, on your end, you can close it out and come back, and it probably will work. Ralph says, I'm here. No turkey yet. Going back up next week. Try it again. Okay. Try again. Yeah. That's why I think I'm going to raise turkeys. That way I can just go out back and break the neck and I have a turkey. Yeah. Feed's all good, says Sal. All right. I'm glad. Okay. No buffering. Tommy just sleeping. All right. So I'm going to try to start and try to yap nap. Okay. And we can talk. We can do smack talking and stuff. All right. So I'm going to use Mike Tuff's Super Bullet, right? Or what is this? Looks like something you'd launch out of a grenade launcher. So this is the grenade bopper. Yeah. It should have plenty of impact, so to speak. Ha. Let's try it on this. Let's try it on this poor hapless piece of jerk. Yeah. No sympathy, okay? Ooh, that's almost effortless. Oh, I don't even have to try. Oh, I don't know. There's some serious force on that one. What am I going to do? It's all crooked. I'm afraid this is too powerful. Yeah. But it's nice. Hold on a second. I got to figure this out. See, the middle is too thin. I got to thin down the ends, but I'm afraid to hit the ends. Let's see. Whoops. Can't do that because all this lighting will collapse. It's dangerous. As my mom would say, it's dangerous. Let's see. Dangerous. Yeah. This does work, though. I just don't want to use it to its full advantage yet. It's giggly. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, the cortex, it's always a difficult thing to deal with the cortex. This is rather heavy. I wouldn't be able to use this all day. But when I need a little bit of extra persuasion, so to speak, yeah, I think that'll work. Can you see? No? Let's see if we got more people coming in because I'm napping. If I notice a number jump up a couple or 10, that means they wanted to watch the napping. Yeah. I'll get to the chat in a minute. I don't want to get distracted right now. I was watching some potato gun videos. This looks like it would be excellent to launch from a potato gun. It is super heavy. Is there a marking on how many ounces? This is very heavy. So yeah, it does work. But it's very aggressive. And I think I will need a lot of abrading, because if not, it just crushes like this. See, I just crushed that. I hit that a bunch of times, and I should have removed it like that. But it doesn't seem to remove, it's typical of percussion. It doesn't seem to remove very well unless you abrade. So let me get back to the chat for a second and see what I missed. Neolithic Nomad says, Jack, how are you? I'm doing good. Yeah. And if I'm lying, you'll never know. Let's see. I love that we all came up with that many sub-names for that big bopper, says Brennan. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Tommy Taylor says, that's the biggest acorn I ever seen. Yeah. It is. Hold on tight. I couldn't imagine a thing hitting my bad toe. Yeah. This thing, if you do drop it, no, it's like a cat, right? No matter what position you drop it in, it's always going to go this way, like that. And then, boom. It's extremely front heavy. This whole front end is extremely heavy. So when you're holding it, it's not balanced. It's very front heavy, which makes it even more deadly. Yeah. And the gloves help to hold on to it. Yeah, because it's nice and smooth, right? So I might put a piece of rubber tubing on this if I'm not using a glove, so I can hold on to it. It's not that easy to hold on to. I suppose if I grip it around like this, as long as I don't mess up my fingers trying to do it that way. Yeah, I can wrap my fingers more around it. Yeah, that works. So on a typical procedure is to thin down the ends first and get it straight. So that's what I'm proceeding to try to do. I thin down the what I'm going to call the base first, and then work on the tip. This is kind of flat here, which is good. Perfect. So I don't mess with this too much. I'm going to mess mostly with this side, the lumps here, and you try to get it a straight biface, and then I'll start thinning it. All right, let's see. Kiowa says, the dude abides. Yuri Kurt says, such a nice piece, I would be afraid to break it. Holding my breath. Yeah, no, I'm going to try to avoid breaking it on video for sure. Scott, I can send you a care package with suture, says Alan Cole. I must have missed some of the chat. Doesn't matter. Ralph says, thanks, Kilcork. The toms here with the hens, difficult to get them away from their hens. Better luck when the hens are nesting. I've never been turkey hunting. Yeah. Brennan says, good Flintknapping channel name, a future in sutures. Futures in sutures? Yeah. Mike says, I got a 9, 2 1/8 caps, $30 each. I got 9 2 1/8 inch caps, $30 each, plus shipping. Alan, you'll get one. All right. So let's see. This is it says 21 ounce. It does say 21 ounces. And it looks like 2 1/4, but you said 2 1/8? Yeah, 2 1/8 inch. These caps. Now you're talking about the whole bopper for $30 and then you add shipping? If you guys are interested, send me an email, says Mike. Yep, send Mike an email. Smallzilla says, I've 3D printed some pretty fun discarding Sabo potato gun projectiles. Fun backyard ballistics. I'll really take you. Oh, wait, hold on. I got some more stuff from Harley from Smallzilla. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, he 3D printed me some arrowheads. All right, let's see if I can do this. See the arrowhead? These are plastic. 3D printed from, online scans, I suppose, right? I don't know much about 3D printing, but these are reproduced from scans. And I got 2 identical ones. Yeah, 2 identical. And these are for study. Okay? They're not for hunting. I'm particularly interested in the side view. See how this is? They're not perfect, right? Same with the stems. The stems are not perfect. So if you stick it in a notch that's perfect, a lot of times the point it gets skewed from one side or the other in a perfect notch. Okay, so that's why you have to use glue a lot of times. You make the notch bigger and then you insert this with some glue and the glue takes up the gaps. So, and you can align it straight. This looks like a little Eden point, 3D printed. It doesn't show the details exactly, but it does give you an idea if it's perfect or not. And these are not perfect. The real ones, these are patterned after real ones. If I hadn't mentioned that already. See how it favors one side? It almost looks like it's made on a flake that's curved. And these are supposed to be perfect, perfectly straight artifacts. In people's minds, these are always perfect and straight. They're always perfect and straight, and I want to know how to make them perfect and straight. They're not perfect and straight. So I don't know why you want to make them that way. Case in point, pun intended. See how that Clovis tip is not centered? It's not perfect and straight. See how that Clovis tip is not centered? It's curved. Let's see. Shift. It's curved this way. No, I can't do it. Shift that way. Turn this way. Shift this way. Turn. It's curved like that. Like that. It's so weird doing this. Trying to do motions on here because it's flipped around. Anyway. See that? It's a Clovis. And it's not perfect. See that? No, you can't see it. Because I can't figure out how to position myself without doing it in stages. Move this way, but turn hand this way and turn object this way. See that? The flutes are not perfect either. That one side has a small one side has a wide one, or I should say narrow and wide. And some people say, oh, you see that step fracture in the top? That's so the wood can bump up against it. And it's perfect. But you look on the other side, what's the wood going to bump up against? And they'll say, it doesn't matter. As long as it bumps up against one side, it's good. Well, I have another challenge for you. Did you look at where it's ground down on the sides on the artifact? I can show you. I've got a book over there that the ground down part doesn't match the length of the flute. It's very rare for the ground down part to match the same length as the flute. Very rare. And you would think that if the wood bumps up against the flute, that the ground down part is going to be level with the flute. That's what makes logical sense, if that's the case. But it's not the case. In fact, sometimes the ground down part on one side doesn't match the other side either. Like this is ground, let's just say as an example, on some artifacts, it's ground down to halfway. You turn around the other side and it's ground down only partway. And it could be resharpening. Yeah. It could be damage. It could be that they forgot or they just didn't think they needed to grind it all the way up. So the hafting on these is kind of mysterious, other than knowing that, yeah, that's how they hafted them on the stick with a notch, and they had to make sure this was thin enough to do what they wanted to get it into the foreshaft, and then wrapped around the ground down parts. We do know that, but we don't know exactly how far the wood or how deep the notch was or where it ended up on the point, or whether there's exposed wood above the wrapping or no exposed wood above the wrapping. Yada, yada, yada. And we don't even know what they wrapped it with. It could have been sinew or plant material, because when it's ground down, even if it's plant material, I mean, it won't cut through the plant material because you got to wrap it tightly. So it could be both. It could be a combination too. You never know. Anyways, there's that. I got a blue one of the same point. Some say, well, that's impossible for the Clovis tip to be curved like that because it affects the aerodynamical ability of it. All these people with the aerodynamical ability stuff drives me nuts. It doesn't matter with this. At this size, the aerodynamics of the point don't matter that much. See how that tip is? It's not perfect. And supposedly these are the best made points of all, these Edens. And the reason why a lot of these books don't show side views is because people go, wait a second, that's impossible for the side view to be like that because they're supposed to be perfect. Yeah, well, they're not. It's pretty close. And last but not least, I got my red Folsom. And no, it's not like a 4-inch long, super duper thin piece. Okay, what's the ratio on this? I don't know, 8-1 maybe. Let me see. I'm gonna stop looking at the chat for now, and I'm gonna see what's the ratio on this one. This is 25 millimeter, yeah, by 4 millimeter. What is that? 6. Let's see. 4 times 6 is 24. It's 6-1, right? 24 by 4, 6-1. And some people say, "Hey, wait a minute, that couldn't be 6-1. I thought Folsoms were like 200-1 or something." Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. It's not your fault. It's got this internet culture's got everybody screwed up. Okay. All right. Now, some might say those are not accurate because they're 3D printed. You got to get the exact artifact, or you're full of BS. Yeah. Oh well. I can't please everybody. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I'm looking at the chat here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, "Do you have more stuff in that size range, Patrick?" You mean this stuff? I don't sell rocks, so even if I did have more stuff in this size range, I wouldn't sell it. You got to talk to Jeff Head. He's got stuff in this size range and more. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Um, Alan Cole says, Sal, I started to watch some of your videos. It appears that your blood obsidian level is drastically low. I have a cure for that. Yeah, cure me up. Let's see. Um, Where am I? Oh no, I missed a lot. I missed a lot. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going way back into the chat. Let's see, 2:36. I'm like 10 minutes behind. Let's see. Um, let's see. Okay, tough. So you're awesome. I can handle it. You're so awesome. Okay. Alan says, Sal, have Patrick connect us and I'll put you on my list just behind Mike Tufts. Okay. Patrick, what do you think about a handle for it? Says Mike Tufts. Oh, just you can do a handle similar to this, just not such a narrow neck on it. Yeah, I hardly ever take advantage of that narrow neck because I'm holding it mainly down here. It doesn't need a narrow neck, not that narrow. It can narrow it down. You can narrow it down. So just similar to the other ones would be my guess. Just not such a narrow neck on it. Yeah. Same length. Whatever this total length is, you just use a total length. The same. I don't know what that is. And don't make such a narrow neck on it. Make it a little bit tougher because this one is going to break the wood for sure if you're not careful. If it's a handle. And it's okay to make a straight handle too because sometimes you can use it like this. Okay? And you don't need a constriction here. For especially when you're knapping big pieces of obsidian, you just drop it pretty much vertically onto the obsidian. Let's see. So you don't need a big massive, not a big massive. You don't need a substantial constriction to hold onto it. Jim Cooper says maybe drill a hole across the wood part and put wrist straps that's tight to provide additional gripping surface. Saw a guy doing that with leather straps and a small hammerstone and antler chunks. Okay. TJ's here. TJ's new life. He's from Australia. Hello, hello. Ralph says, I tried doing gobbler calls, but it's tricky to get the tom to leave hens or go to another tom or fight another tom. Jim Cooper says, in this case, he would wrap around the stone or antler piece. Mike Mason says, Ralph, do you use crow calls in the morning and owl hoots in the evening? Keith says, I can use that bopper as an anvil so I can split my marbles. Yeah. Mike says, oh, Ralph, I see you are locating them, just not pulling them. I don't know. Mike Tuff says, I don't know. I got so many measurements in my head right now, trying to do these 5-inch risers for a doggy stringer, maybe 2 1/4. Yeah, it might be 2 1/4. It looks like somewhere in that range. Yeah. Mike says, yeah, I got a good deal on those caps. The reason why I can't let these go for $30 a piece plus shipping. Oh, I can let these go. Yeah. Good deal on the caps. Excellent. I think I know a plumber who has a contact in Houston who has caps cheap. Okay, Mike? Remind me in the emails because I won't remember that I may have a source for you for cheap caps, cheaper than what you've been getting. Okay? So we need to explore that. Killer Cork says, Ralph, you have quite the turkey call collection. Yeah. Killer Cork says, Mike, I got to get some things from you soon. Great craftsmanship. Yep. Mike Mason says, I installed a crazy curve on a small point and posted it. Was tempted to see if it could make a corner. Yeah. Scott the Old Welder says, hello, Patrick. Greetings from Bristol, Tennessee. Greetings. Mike Tuff says, thank you, Killer. Just send me an email whenever you're ready. Kiowa says, "I love how your sarcastic tone sounds a little like Trump." I don't know. I don't hear it. Clint Stoner says, "Hello." Ralph says, "Yes, I'm fully camouflaged. Had a woman walking her dogs next to me on the state land. Her and her dogs never noticed me next to the hiking trail. Walked right past me. That's pretty good camouflage." Jim Cooper says, "Got to go. I'll catch you guys later." All right. Catch you later. Killer Cork says, "Ralph, that pretty good that even the dog didn't notice." Yeah. Either a dog was getting too old, didn't have a good nose anymore, or something. TJ says, "I received the Kimberly point today. Do you know where it came from?" I don't understand if that's sarcasm. Did it make a detour on its way over to you? Hey, AB is here. Hey, what's up, man? I'm in the woods filming. Oh, dang. Yeah, I can't film. Well, I can film in the woods, but uh, it takes it just takes too much time for me to get all that stuff ready. But I'll probably do it soon. Keith says, "Hounds are closing in like on the like button." Yeah, hit the like button because we got 44 watching and only 34 likes. Usually by this time we have more likes than viewers. And the reason why likes are important is because YouTube will promote the video with the more likes. But YouTube doesn't see much below 100 views. It's got less than 100 views. Man, it doesn't promote it. So I got to get up to 100 views somehow. The red one is amazing, says AB. Yeah. Didn't know it. Native Americans had 3D printers. Nope, they didn't. They had their buddies' points that they could look at. They had something better. Okay, so don't be all upset that they didn't have 3D printers because they had something better. They had, can I see that? Eden, the one you've been saving that is too good to use? Oh, yeah, I got it right here. And a perfect little Eden that everyone can look at. They don't need 3D printed stuff. Tommy Taylor says, "Yes, Keith, send the hounds a lot less likes than viewers." Hey, someone gave me $10. Who gave me $10? Is that Jesse? Oh, yeah, it is. It's Jesse. Thank you very much. Don't ask me how he does it because I don't know how you guys can give me money. It's just the super chat thing. I think you have to click somewhere. Ellen says, "Napper Jack Crafty, am I correct that Anasazi ancient Pueblo projectile points had many variations, some stemmed and some notched?" Yes, that is correct. Let's see. Tufts put powerful Jack Crafty experience on the new Bopper limited edition. Yeah, the Jack Crafty experience. Yeah, and then I'll make a little plaque that has it around the outside. The Jack Crafty experience. I don't know. Mike Tuff says, "Okie dokie, I'll do it." Yeah, I agree. Definitely got narrow in neck, but you have to be able to hold it. Yeah, it is true. If you put a contour on the handle, it makes it easier. TJ says, "I was surprised today. It actually made me cry." Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad, TJ. I'm glad you liked it. I sent him a reproduction of a Kimberly point made out of this stuff. It's made out of this Georgia Chert translucent stuff. We call it butterscotch. Yeah, it's cool. I like this material mainly because of the color. It's kind of a mid grade if it's not heat treated. Heat treating it gets up into the higher grades, and it doesn't take much heat either. You can even do it in your kitchen oven as long as your significant other doesn't use the oven very much. Hey, someone give me $5. You can heat treat this stuff in a regular kitchen oven. You don't need a heat treating kiln or a turkey roaster. People will say, "Why didn't you tell me that 2 years ago? Dang it." Well, better late than never. Oh, let's see. Mike says, for sure, I'll remind you about the copper caps. Okay, yeah, remind me because I have a connection uh, with a plumber, an actual retired plumber that knows, he knows things. Yeah, a wealth of information as far as this stuff goes. The copper caps. Um, AB has entered. Oh, yes. Smallzilla says, in case you missed it, Patrick, that long Eden point, that whitish is glow in the dark. I did miss it. Yeah. Don't forget to show off those new signs as well. Yeah, I showed them earlier, but I think before you got here. See that? Smallzilla or Harley makes these with his 3D printer. Yeah. What does that say? Got to make doo doo with what you got. Yeah. That's one of my favorite expressions. I make doo doo with what I got. That's what it seems like because I just have to wing it many cases, so it doesn't feel like I'm making it perfect. So I just make doo doo with what I got. If I knew why it happens, then I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I knew why it messed up. Snapping halfish. This is excellent. It's my favorite so far. Snapping halfish. Yeah. And if you put that on a t-shirt, people are going to go, what kind of fish is that? What kind of license you need to catch that? You don't need no license. You just need rocks. Rocks in your head. It's the law of the West, which means it's one of my expressions from a cartoon. The cartoon goes something like, I hate to do this to you, ma'am, but it's the law of the West. All right. So yeah, Harley sent me a bunch of signs, and I have my light box that I have the other sign on, but I didn't put it out here today. Uh, yeah, I forgot. Well, I didn't actually forget. I just didn't leave myself enough time to get this stuff set up. There's some other stuff I wanted to show, but I don't have it within view. Some other stuff. Well, okay, I do have it. This is sisal twine, all-purpose twine. You can unravel it and use the fibers, just like I was doing the yucca plant the other day. Okay? Look, you don't believe me? If you want natural fibers and you say, I got to use what's in nature because if I don't, I'm cheating and I hate cheating. Yeah. But only with Flintknapping. I'll cheat with pottery and stuff. I'll cheat with baskets and pottery and leatherworking, but I won't cheat with Flintknapping because it's weird. No, I think it's you're weird. Anyway, if you want natural fibers, you get the sisal twine and you can have fun unwinding all the fibers, and they're actually quite long, and you can use them to attach feathers or points. All right, you just got to tease them apart. Yeah, and you guys that are friction fires and stuff, they get all happy when they see fibers, so you can use these for friction fires. The twine, other than it's useful to tie things with, you just unravel this stuff and you have a natural fiber that you can make better cordage out of it than the twine. See, the twine has the strands kind of going in random directions and they're not all straight. They get looped. Uh, but it's a double twist. And then you just keep doing this. I can't do it very well with the gloves on, but you get the idea. And yes, after you get the fibers taken out, they'll be long, right? After you tease it enough, there'll be long fibers, and then you can group a few long fibers, put some Elmer's glue on them, and wrap your arrowheads with natural, organic, healthy to eat fiber. Don't eat the fiber, okay? You don't know what's in it. Probably has pesticides. Let's see. Mike Mason says, I hear YouTube is back to the Elsa Gate stuff again. What is that? Who else gave me money? Not only Jesse, but Keith gave me money, and then who else? Yuri gave me $10. Bad examples are contagious. Why all the people don't use Super Chat? Yeah, why don't you all use Super Chat? Thanks, Yuri. Thank you very much. Let's see where I am at. Harley is legendary. Oh, yes. There is a little dollar sign right after the text field. Okay. That helps. Tommy Taylor says, well, have to take the wife out to eat. See you all Friday. All right, we'll see you Friday on the next live stream. Keith says, click the dollar sign by the chat and it will walk you through the process of super chats. Awesome. Ralph says, aren't Kimberly points from Australia? Yeah. Kimberly points are from Australia. I sent the Kimberly point to TJ, who lives in Australia. Yeah. And by coincidence, the Kimberly point is his favorite. Yeah. Yes, yes. TJ, a friend of mine from Australia. Jesse says, thanks, Alan. You too, broski. Let's see here. Everyone says hi. Yes, yes. Alan Cole says, funds are a little tight, but I'll send multi-purpose care packages. All right. Help Alan out because his funds are a little bit tight. Offer to pay for shipping or something. Keith says, I sold some more marbles. You sold them? Good. Good for you. Dalton says, do you have a method for heating in the kitchen oven? Same method. In fact, it's a lot easier because the temperature gauge on the oven is a lot more accurate than the temperature gauge on the turkey roaster. After you insulate the lid on the turkey roaster, the temperature gauge doesn't register the correct temperature. But in the oven, just the same. Heat at 200 degrees for 24 hours. If you think the stone contains a lot of water, that'll help to evaporate the water out of the stone so you don't get explosions at higher temperatures. 200 degrees for 24 hours, and then you crank up the heat to 50 degrees more, so 250. Wait 30 minutes, crank it up again to another 50 degrees to 300. Now we're talking about this stuff, so your first heat treat should be about at 300 for 4 hours. Turn off the oven, let it cool down for 12 hours. This takes multiple days, okay? That's why the significant other doesn't like it. Anyway, after 12 hours, take it out, nap it. If it naps better, you got it. If you think it might nap a little bit better with more heat, stick it back in the oven, crank it up to 200, wait 30 minutes, crank it up to 250, wait 30 minutes, crank it up to 300, wait 30 minutes, crank it up to 350, and wait 4 hours. And then turn it off, wait 12 hours, take it out. Why do you got to wait 12 hours to take it out? You want to make sure that it cools down slowly and then it cools all the way down to room temperature. It might take less than 12 hours to cool down, but if you are the type that will open the door every hour or so, is it cold enough to take out? You're going to ruin it. So 12 hours is safe. Do not touch that oven door and open it up and change the temperature drastically because it'll go and you won't even hear it in some cases. You'll ruin it. Now, I think 8 hours might be enough to cool it down to room temperature. I don't know. If you want to experiment, go ahead. I just do it 12 hours to make sure. Alrighty? No, I'm not explaining it again. Dalton says, should I use a pan with sand in it? No. Make sure the air gets all the way around the item or items. Just stick it in a pan with no sand because the air around it keeps the temperature steady. Okay? Because you got convection, right? The heating element in the oven is usually above, right? If you got sand in it and the heat radiates down and heats the top, air can't flow around because it hits the sand. So you're going to get differences in temperature as it goes down in. And the differences in temperature is what causes stress on the stone. But with the heat convection, it also causes air movement. So it heats, believe it or not, the stone more evenly if you do not have sand. Okay? Because of the airflow. And the air and the convection of heat both act on the stone, but it heats it more evenly if there's airflow. Okay? Just so you know, right? But I mean, people do use sand, but I don't know how they get away with it, especially with thicker items like this. You can heat this as long as it's less than an inch thick. That's my rule, inch thick or less. You can heat it like this, but make sure that it's evenly exposed to heat. Gritty the Pooh is here. I haven't seen you before. Good afternoon. Dalton says, should I use a pan? No. With sand? No. Let's see. Everyone says hello and way to go, Yuri. Yes, yes. Alan, not too familiar with Western points. I like them though. I gotta check that out because if this one is glow in the dark, that's pretty awesome. Hardy says this one's glow in the dark. Yeah. Snapping Halfish is great, says Jordan. Oh yes. Money, money. J Money? I don't know. Brendan says no money than I got. All right, what do we got here? Let me know if this microphone's not working right because I don't know if it has a battery life that's as good as the other one. Brendan says, you guys rock on. For those about to chat, we salute you. Yes, yes. Rez Tyson says, here in Southwest Washington, there's a lot of points made from agates. Does it need to be heat treated? Yes, sometimes, yes. Agates, I prefer to heat treat the agates, but it's not always necessary. But yeah, I would do it. Let's see. TJ says, I did a short video unboxing the Kimberly point, over 1K views in 10 hours. Awesome. I hadn't seen that. Well, I got to look at the video. Aaron Wilson says, Rez Tyson, it has been my experience that agate greatly benefits from heat. Yes, it does. Let's see. Gritty the Pooh says, sorry, Jack, not going to make a twine salad. Yeah, don't make twine salad on my account. Just because I suggested it, don't mean that you got to do it. Mike says, I'm low finder. My super chat is a box in the mail. Maybe one day, though. I don't know. Let's see. Jesse says, I haven't been lucky enough to win an auction bid, but figure I can support past channel with supers. Awesome. You haven't got a point yet, Jesse? Dang. In the auction? Ed says, we're expecting some thunderstorms today with hail. Yeah, I heard about the hail. Stidley Designs is here. Hello. Yeah, let's see. Ralph says, I like the sisal twine if you don't have fibers from the wild. Yeah, the sisal twine works really well. The fibers. The twine itself is poor quality construction, but the fibers can be unraveled and then retwisted into much better cordage when you retwist it. Sal says, used to use metal pipe pans when I heat treated in the oven before my turkey roaster days. Hey, excellent idea. You can also heat treat on the oven shelf as long as the flakes are big enough they don't fall down. Jesse, I'm a custom. Alan says, Jesse, I'm a custom modern blade nut. My favorite saying that his customers say is the blade will find you. I believe it's true with Patrick's points. It's going to happen. Yeah, the blade will find you. Aaron Wilson gave me a super chat as well. Dalton McCormick gave me a super chat. Or, right? Is that what those are? Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Gritty the Pooh says, would it help to elevate the stone above the bottom of the roaster with smaller stones? It might. Yeah. Yeah, it might. Yep. Well, whoo, Dalton. David from the UK is here. Gritty the Pooh says, been following a couple years, but never talked in the live streams. Yeah, better late than never. Yuri says, best Flintknapping hotline ever. Yeah. Thank you. Smallzilla says, I did save all the designs and stuff I made for the signs, so if you ever need them for anything, Patrick, just let me know. Shirts, stickers, or anything else, happy to contribute. Awesome. Very good. Yeah. Thank you. Keith Ricketts said, I did my first rock roast the other day. If I followed Patrick's formula, but it turned out good. And it turned out good. Really tough chert and landscape gravel. ND, I've already maybe a few shiny marbles. So you already made a few shiny marbles, yeah. Killer Cork says, Patrick, I just got a nice batch of Horse Creek chert. You got a good heat treat procedure for that material? It's all the same. My procedure is all the same. The only difference is the final heat that you heat it at. So it's all the same. 200 degrees for 24 hours, and then 50 degrees more, wait 30 minutes. Another 50 degrees, wait 30 minutes. With Buffalo River, right? Did you ask for Horse Creek or Buffalo River? Anyway, Horse Creek. Okay, Horse Creek is different than Buffalo River. So Horse Creek will gloss up sooner. So don't go higher than 350 on the first cook. Yeah. And then the second cook can be 400 if the first cook doesn't gloss up. It all depends. Everyone's stone is different. So if I give you a precise recipe, it will be wrong in most cases. So you just have to experiment with flakes. Don't stick your whole batch in there at the same time and go 500. Here they come. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Don't do that. Flakes. Make a bunch of flakes. Stick them in the first batch and go. All right, it's going to take forever, but success is worth the pain. That's supposed to be your attitude. Success is worth the pain. And believe me, sitting there waiting for stone to heat is torture. Let's see. AB says, I just sent you an email with a small clip of my video in it. It's very artsy. Please tell me what you think. All right, AB, let's see. You sent me an email. Oh, I got to take the glove off because this is going to get slow. Let's see. AB's new video. Downloading the file. I got to wait. It's making me wait. Waiting is torture. I gotta wait. All right, so let's get back to the chat. Aaron Wilson says, how long are your indirect rods? 12 inches. 12 inches. Maybe 13. It don't matter. No. 11 to 13 inches don't matter. Use your imagination. Let me see. And experiment with it. Okay? On a roll, super chats. Awesome team, Crafty. Yes, they are. Yes, we are. Lost Ponies here. Thumbnail looks like a log slice. Yes, it does. And I already started napping it a little bit, so it's becoming more like a biface. Here we go. Let's see. Here is the clip of the video I'm putting together about Ishii arrows. Less informative and more artsy. I like it. Yeah. It does look like you cheated, though, because you don't. Well, I can't see the initial arrow shot toward the dummy deer. So you could have cut another shot to make it look like you were perfect. Did you cheat? Did you cheat? What did you do? No, but it's good. I like it. Yeah, and the music's okay too. Yeah. Let's see. Aaron, I believe they are 12 inches average. Yes, they are. The indirect, all my indirect stuff is able to be fit into a bin that is not that big. I even went so far as to cut my file so it would fit in the bin. So it would be, a little bit less than 12 inches. I like to keep my kit compact. Okay, this is more than I normally use on a napping session. That's about twice as much. So my kits are usually pretty small. I don't like long napping tools. In fact, I I'm very much against large napping tools. Yeah. I try to keep them as small as possible. I don't know if I would even carry this around with me uh, on a normal basis unless I had something specific to nap, like big obsidian boulders or something. Yeah, it's a specialty item. I would carry it if I needed it, but otherwise, on my normal kit, I try to keep it as light and small as possible. Yeah. Let's see. With okay, all right. It says here. Where am I? Okay, I just sent you an email. Okay, I got that one from AB. Let's see. The thumbnail looks like a log slice. I read that one. I'm throwing in the whole batch. Just kidding. Yeah, killer cork. Don't throw the whole batch in. I've seen. I've heard. I haven't seen. I've heard guys do that because they've told me. They just come up and tell me, you know what? I cooked that batch that you told me to cook, and the whole thing just blew up. Whole thing. So he must have been in there. Yeah, 500 degrees. There I come. Let's see what goes on. No, you don't want to do it that way. I had a feeling. I had a feeling that when I first started explaining heat treating, that people would do that instead of ramping it up. Because I told them in the beginning that you just crank it to the correct heat, and it'll slowly ramp up by itself. But I found over time that fails one time out of 20. So I said, well, that one time out of 20 that it fails is with the guy who is the one that will complain the most if it fails. And sure enough, it was the guy that complains the most that it failed on, and I didn't hear the end of it. Yeah. Let's see. Aaron Wilson says, perfect. That's what I was told by my machinist. What did I miss? Smallzilla says, with the indirect rods, I remember you saying you were going to experiment with brass. Yeah. Have you been able to do that? Or is it on the to-do list? I keep bending copper rods. Yeah, it's on the to-do list. Yeah, I'm right now I'm trying to figure out how to do the voiceovers so I'm not spending all day just doing videos. Because I'm gonna be doing voiced over instructional videos for the members and voiced over yap videos and no talk videos. So what I'll do is I'll film a no talk video first and post it, and then film or produce a voiceover of that no talk and post it as a yap video, and do another separate instructional video where I try to focus in and tell you exactly what I think is going on, and leave that uh, only for members, because there's ways to shoot a video or post a video that only members can see it. Okay. And I feel okay doing it that way because I've got so many instructional videos in the past that I don't think I'm cheating anybody. I hope. But I'll do some videos like now when I was napping just now, it's kind of instructional, although I don't go into exactly what I'm doing in all cases because I don't know what I'm doing in all cases. Yeah. I let the subconscious and muscle memory take over in many cases, and I don't interfere. If I think about it too much, I interfere with the napping and it messes it up. All right. All right. Uh, Dalton McCormick says, maybe an amateur question, but is there a way you can tell if a rock contains a lot of moisture? No, not really. You don't know. You just assume. And it's best to be or to err on the side of caution. Now, sometimes, like on these Georgia chert nodules, there's little pockets, there's little pockets within the stone, and when you're napping it and you find a pocket that leaks water, then you know it's got water in the stone. But lately, I've napped a lot of this Georgia chert, and there's been pockets with no water in them. So I feel it would be safe to skip the 200 degrees for 24 hours on stone that seems dry. I think it would be safe. But you err on the side of caution in all cases, so you don't go, "Hey, I did it the way you said, and I just took a shortcut and didn't evaporatize all the water, and it ruined it. It blew it up, and I got a crack in my oven glass." Yeah. What can I do? It's just my luck. Killer Cork says, "Yes, great team here. Thanks for supporting." Yes, everybody, thanks for supporting the channel. Let's see, 3:22. That means we got about 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes left in the live stream. Still got time. Let's see. If you want to use brass, go ahead. Don't wait for me, but you're going to find it to be bouncy and slippery. And you're going to go, "I think I'm going to wait till you show me how to do it because I can't do nothing with brass. Although I've got like 500 tons of it." Yeah, I know. Keith says, "If you haven't smacked the like button, what you waiting on?" Yeah, what you waiting on? Let's see, Dalton, "You will find out when you whack it." Yeah. You have to abuse the stone. There's no way around it. Let's see, Jesse says, "I ordered some bronze rods for welding or brazing. We'll report back if good for indirect pressure." I already tried bronze. It's excellent. Bronze is excellent for napping. Okay, so you don't have to wonder. If you can't do napping with bronze, it's not the bronze, it's you. Have you smacked the like button? Okay. Let's see. Dalton says, "Obviously, if I pull it straight from a creek or something," yeah, it's pretty obvious if you pull a rock from a creek that it's got tons of water in it. You may need to leave it out in the sunlight for a couple of days first, and then put it in the oven for 24 hours at 200 degrees. AB says, "Oh, I did cheat. I'm making a film here, boys, not a documentary." I knew it. Yeah. Artistic license. Yes. AB says, "All of my missing shots." Yeah. You don't film the shots that you miss if you're editing the video. Yeah. Put in only the best shots. That's the way to get views. Ellen says, "Dalton, you will find out." Yeah. Killer Cork, Keith is an official live stream enforcer. He's got your back, Patrick. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we got almost as many likes as we have viewers. No, we surpassed it by one. We got more likes than viewers. Awesome, awesome. Aaron Wilson says, "Might be a surprise in my goodie box for you." Awesome. I keep saying awesome, but I don't know what else to say. Caldwell County Digs, "Are you going to work petrified wood?" Yes, I am. I've got it lined up. I'm going to work it. When? I don't know. And the more you ask me, the slower I'll get to it. But you got to remind me because I will forget. So I'm slow as it is, but if you like I was saying earlier, I've got this defect where if you keep reminding me too much, then it's going to delay it a lot. Yeah. You got to find that sweet zone, that Goldilocks zone where you can remind me, but not too much. But make sure you don't forget to remind me because I'll forget. Yeah. But I will work petrified wood. And how does it nap? Bad and terrible. What else can I say? Horrible? Or let's see, what else can I say? almost impossible. Okay? So if you're having trouble with it, it's not you. Let's see. Zepador says, good night, Patrick. All right. See you next time. Alan Cole says, AB, watch out for Spielberg. He'll claim copyright. Let's see. Everyone says, good night, good night. Let's see. Lost Pony says, so like a kung fu movie, strike once, show it 3 times. Yeah. Jim Cooper says, but how will I learn how to do the big blades? Jim Cooper, you already do big blades. Yeah. Why do you need to learn? Jim says, if you make it members only, I don't know if I can swing that. I will do some instructional videos every now and then, but I won't put as much effort into it as the dedicated instructional videos. Yeah, it's very difficult, believe it or not, to know what you're doing exactly in napping because a lot of it is taken over by parts of the brain that have been adapted to do this kind of stuff. That if you think about it too much, you mess it up. And if you try to analyze it, especially when you're using physics, you're going to get the physics wrong because physics is extremely precise. And if you're not extremely precise, the physics is wrong, right? But people want to know the physics. I want to know the forces and the angles, vectors. Okay, you know what the vectors are? Yeah. People ask stuff like that. I want to know the forces and I want to know the fracture mechanics. And if you can specify the angle of applied force, that would be great. If you can specify the density of the material, that'd be great. If you can specify the average length of the flake according to the angle and the velocity and all that, that'd be great. I can't do that. I know it would be great, but if I do that, I will be wrong. Okay? So you just have to watch and try to learn from what I can explain according to or within the limits of my understanding. Some people might say, well, if you don't understand it, you shouldn't be explaining it. If you don't understand 100%, 100% you shouldn't be explaining it. I can't argue with that stance, but you can still gain some benefit, even if I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see. Jim says, I have no idea what you're referring to, Alan Cole. Yeah, I don't know what you were referring to either. Gritty the Pooh says, Dalton, only way is a moisture density tester which uses penetrating nuclear waves to sample moisture percentage in asphalt, concrete, etc. Yeah, you can use one of those. Yeah. I don't know if that's the only way, but that can be a way. As long as you have a chart with that particular type of material, you might not know it, you might not have a chart for this kind of chart. Might not have a chart chart. You need a chart chart. Yeah. Let's see. Ralph says, is petrified palmwood difficult to find? Not in the areas where it exists. There's a bunch of it there. I haven't seen any for sale. I think it's a unicorn material. No, Ralph Snyder, if you look on Facebook, and do a search, my search isn't that great, and so yours might not be that good. But there are people that sell petrified palmwood as slabs all over the place. You'll find them at Knappings, okay? But they also advertise mainly on Facebook, mainly because it's us older people, we like to use Facebook. So that's where you'll find the petrified palmwood. And it's not rare. I mean, it's rare to find a piece without a crack in it, but there's a lot of it available. Lost Pony says, is the petrified wood progress petrified? Almost. Let's see. Izzy or Isidore sent me a box that has lots of petrified wood. He sent it to me recently, so it's just sitting there within view of my napping when I'm in my shop. So I'm going to get to it. Yeah, I will get to it. It's within my view, so everything that's within my view usually gets snapped. Maybe you can work petrified wood with pliers, says Keith. 2 birds, 1 video. Yeah, maybe. Jim Cooper says, I'll send you some good petrified wood, says Jim Cooper. Awesome. That would be good. It would be good that I stop saying awesome all the time. Brennan says, yeah, I look forward to these meetings. Very helpful with my mental health as well as napping and snapping. Well, good. Yeah. Nothing better than mental health. I do not wish mental distress on anybody, not even my worst enemy, except maybe my very worst enemy. Keith says, maybe you can work petrified wood with pliers. Oh, I already read that one. Are you ever going to attempt a replica of the Sweetwater Biface, says Aaron Wilson? Absolutely not. No. Why? I don't have that much material to waste. You know how many hundreds of pounds it would take for me to chase that Sweetwater Biface? Holy moly. And you know what will happen at the end of the Sweetwater Biface episode? I won't be able to make one. So it's a losing endeavor in all ways. I won't be able to make one. I know I won't be able to. Not as a replica. Maybe a smaller one. And I won't be able to get the same material. So people will say, yeah, you got it with Sweetwater Biface, but did you use that exact material? And did you use the tools that they might have used in the past? Because if you didn't replicate it for us. I don't care if the width to thickness ratio is perfect. You didn't have the same materials as they did back in the day. So it doesn't count. Add that to the other stuff. I need 400 pounds minimum to try to get to that level of napping. And just the time. Put everything else on hold. Hey guys, I'm chasing the Sweetwater Biface. No auctions, no videos, no instructional, no live streams. I gotta chase the Sweetwater Biface. So the answer to that question is no, nope, 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 and hell no. Let's see. Somebody has some videos. Like Jason Newman has tried to chase a Sweetwater Biface. Jason Newman. Let's see. We've all been waiting for live stream overtime, says Alan Cole. You want me to go over the 2 hours? Dang. I don't have videos on napping the Sweetwater Biface. Jason Newman does, and I think that Curtis Smith has a video or 2 on his attempt. Mike Mason. Yeah, Curtis Smith and Jason Newman. Both on YouTube. Sal says, I started napping since you stopped napping. I got a crunchy peternalis point going. Awesome. Yeah, I tend to take a break from napping on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I start napping again on Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, usually I don't nap at all, except maybe on the live stream a little bit. Yeah. Should I continue napping here? I can't catch up with the chat. Let's see. Yeah, I think they're called Chasing the Sweetwater Biface. Yeah. The video's on YouTube. AB says, I got to get back to work. Y'all have a great evening. All right, you too. See you later. Don't lose your job. Jim Cooper says, I'm teasing you, Patrick. I know it won't affect me if you have a members area. Yeah. I'm glad you specified that because sometimes I don't get sarcasm or teasing. Ralph says, it would be cool to see anyone at some event. Everyone at some event. but difficult because they're all over the place. Yeah, but it's still cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to see a bunch of people, a bunch of us all at the same event. Yeah, if there is a way to get everybody in the chat uh, participating in the live stream with their own little windows, right? But we all have to be on the same software, like Zoom or something. You have to download the app and all have to get online at the same time, and then the app puts us all on the same screen. Okay? It's like a conference call. But I can live stream that conference call so that not only the people who are part of the screen community, you can also chat. Right? I think. But I don't know if I'll do that. That adds an extra layer of complexity that is not fun. I don't think. I have been on chats like that where we're all kind of integrated into one screen, so everybody can see each other and see what they look like, and that sort of thing. And we can do hand signals, and people will see, and we can tell which guys are at work, which guys are leaning back, drinking a brewski and clicking the mouse on the side, watching TV, kicking back, and we know there's some guys that are sitting outside grilling. They got the computer sitting there next to the grill. They're going, shh. How do I know? I don't know. Let's see. Keith, you saved those tater chips from the marbles, right? Scott Lauer says, Brennan, I can't think of guy's name who knows that vid. Super attempt. Yeah. Dalton says, I picked up napping after my daughter was born and became a stay-at-home dad. My daughter has grown up watching your videos with me every morning. My wife likes to call you Uncle Jack Crafty. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was a stay-at-home dad for many years, on and off. The last 10 years, I was stay-at-home dad up until my boys turned 18. So from when they were 8 years old to 18, I was at home with them. After I left my last job, I was a stay-at-home dad for 10 years. Yeah. But before that, I had other stints where I was at home for a year or so between jobs. Yeah. I don't know how they did it when I was away for a lot of time when the kids were still in diapers. Yeah. My oldest daughter, poor thing, took the brunt of taking care of her younger siblings during that time when I was away, and my ex-wife also had to work a little bit here and there. My oldest daughter filled in to take care of the little ones, and she didn't have much of a childhood, so I feel bad about that. Yeah, but if you could be a stay-at-home dad, I recommend it because you can't get back time, right? And it does seem like, in a way, you lose your children when they grow up because they don't stay cute and funny and active like they were when they're little. They actually grow up and they start to become smarter than you and asking questions that go, oh gosh, I don't know how to answer this. TJ's New Life says explaining napping is like teaching someone how to walk. Clovis first. Yeah, well, you can try Clovis first. I don't recommend it for beginners, but yeah. Where am I? I miss a lot of the chat. Dang, I've been listening to a lot of the chat. All right, let's see. Smallzilla says, probably a pretty niche question, but do you remember if your bronze was silicon bronze or phosphor bronze? If you're unsure, then don't worry. I think it was silicon bronze. Yeah. TJ's New Life, mental health is horrible. Uh-oh, that's not good. Keith says, Ellen, that's what I heat treated. The tater flakes. Yeah, good idea. Scott Lauer says, Ralph, I'd love to nap with all you fellas. There's literally no one to nap with over here. Yeah, that's not a good situation over in the UK. Aaron Wilson says it's only 18 to 1 with the thickness ratio. Yeah, only. Jim Cooper says this is a Sweetwater Biface, 18 to 1. But I think it ranges between 14 to 1 to 18 to 1, depending on where you measure it. Jim Cooper says, I've been chasing the Sweetwater Biface proportions for over 10 years and got close a few times, but never made it yet. Yeah. Lost Pony says, hey, what's a Sweetwater Biface? I'm new. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you start worrying about it, it's going to bug us. You're going to bug us. It's going to bug us because you are being bugged by it. Now that when you see it, you can't unsee it. Don't even look at it. Yeah. Okay, Lost Pony? Don't you worry too much. Alan says, it's official. Live streams are now the powerful Jack Crafty experience. Awesome. Jim Cooper says, Curtis Smith and Marty Reiter got pretty close. Yeah. Brendan says, that must be the one I was thinking. Ralph says, didn't Jason Newman nap a Sweetwater point? I think that's the guy that Scott was talking about. Yeah, Jason Newman got pretty close. Alan Cole says, Sal putting in work. Yeah. Killer Cork says, Scott, I need some napping buddies also. I got one guy kind of local that I got together with sometimes. Would be awesome to meet you, the guys, the stream guys. Yeah. You guys can make it happen. Just go to the same nappins. If I can drive 36 hours to the nappin in Texas, you guys can meet up. Keith says, Lost Pony Sweetwater Biface is worth research. You'll enjoy it. Oh, I don't know. I'm warning you. Keith says, Lost Pony Sweetwater. Okay. Scott Lauer says, TJ, I'm in England, bud. Yes, yes. Mike Mason says, I was driving home when you were saying 500 degrees. Here I come. Had me laughing hard. Yeah. Don't do it. Ed Gould says, I'm back. My wife just called this Jack Crappy. Sometimes she can be a witch. Hey, I've been called worse than Jack Crappy. Yeah. At least it kept the name Jack. Let's see. Zoom napping. Yeah, we can do a Zoom call and nap it and talk to each other. Yeah. Scott's YouTube channel is worth a look. See. Yeah. Alan Cole says, okay. Scott Lauer says, Ralph, that's him. Next level napping. Jim Cooper says, if we can convince Patrick to do Discord, we could do that all live stream at once and do it all at the same time with other channels. It's pretty simple. Yeah. I don't know if I think I once did have a Discord subscription. I think it's gone up a lot in price since then. TJ's new live, Scott. I'm in Australia. Yeah. Ralph says, I would like that, Scott. I'd like to visit England someday. Beautiful country. Yeah, I'd like to go to England as well. Aaron Wilson says, have a great afternoon, everyone. Back to work. All right, back to work, Aaron. Let's see. Gosh, I keep missing a lot of the chat. Okay. Don Reed, Gary says, what are your thoughts on brass boppers? They're not that great, but they do work. Yeah, I mean, it can make anything work as when you get used to it. You just have to get a lot used to it if you use a brass hammer or bopper. Let's see. Brennan says, I've got a lot of Primo stone and tools from Danny in the past year. Yeah, Danny Collins sells Primo stuff as far as stone goes. Let's see. Keith says, E-Money, I was halfway through Danny's latest video when Patrick went live. I can't wait to see how it turned out. Yeah, Bren says, my daughter is watching this with me right now, listening to your words on growing up. A very meta moment. Yeah. Yeah, I got 4 daughters and 2 sons. They grew up not so fast. But when they did, it feels like a loss. Like they're not like they used to be, you know? I mean, it's cool to see them become adults and do their own thing and all that stuff, but it's like, where did the kids go? Yeah, it's a relief. Like, whew, I don't have to keep supervising and making sure that they don't do this and don't do that and answer the questions and make sure they get to school and deal with teachers. But just the atmosphere, it feels like a loss. Like, where did they go? I don't see them anymore. I mean, I'm looking right at my kid, but I don't see a little one. Where did they go? Let's see. Gritty the Pooh says, I was a stay-at-home dad for 4 years when my daughter was born. Awesome. Yeah. Alan says, Harley, I think casting bronze is best. I've done some tests with silicon bronze versus casting bronze. You can't forge silicon bronze, but you can forge casting bronze. Yeah. I haven't looked into it. I think I have mostly silicon bronze. Ralph says, yeah, Scott's channel is cool. It is cool. Aaron is here. Are Clovis points only found in North and South America? Are they found elsewhere on the Earth? No, just North and South America, Central America. Yeah, Clovis is a New World technology, so to speak. New World. Are they found in Asia? No. Are they found in Alaska? Yes. They have found fluted points in Alaska. Now, Clovis, technically, because Clovis is within a specific, very narrow time frame, I don't know. But they are paleo. And they are found as far up north as Alaska and as far south as Argentina or something. You know, similar points with the flutes at the base and all that, ground edges and, you know, Clovis. And the dates match. It's a New World thing. I'm going to skip some of these chats so I can catch up. Jim Cooper says, Patrick, that is the perfect response to a new guy asking about the Sweetwater Biface. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't even look. You can't unsee it. See, we know Alan would be grilling some steaks on the Zoom call. Yeah, no doubt. Keith says e-money. Yeah, he said he wanted to reverse wrap a lanyard for it or something. I don't know what you're talking about there. You guys are talking. Well, I'm skipping some of the chat so I can catch up. Jim Cooper says it's free, Patrick. You must be thinking of something besides Discord. Oh, okay. So if Discord is free, I was paying for something else. Yeah. And I just looked into some other forum hosting sites that are capable of hosting forums and these chats and that kind of thing, and it costs a subscription amount. It costs a certain amount for the subscription, but I'll look into Discord. I'll look into it after I do all the side projects that I shouldn't have been doing. Yep. When is that? I don't know. Maybe never. And the more you bug me about it, the more never it will become. I hate that about myself, by the way. I don't think it's a good thing. David says, come to England and I'll take you to a secret location. Awesome. I like where secret materials exist. Yeah. Usually the best stuff. Mike Mason says, I try to shut up so you can read sometimes. I'll be stalking in the comments later. Okay, good. It's a deal. Mike Mason says, no kids myself. I wish that wasn't the case so much. Yeah. You really don't miss what you don't have, so don't worry about it. You only miss it if you have kids. If you don't have kids, you're not going to miss it. Yeah. No biggie. Ralph says, David, are you in the UK? Scott Lauer's in the UK. Yeah, David from the... Well, it depends on which David we're talking about. Smallzilla, good afternoon on the bronze. Good information on the bronze. I don't have any way to cast it, sadly, but I always wanted to get into metal melting and stuff. All right. France had Clovis, I think. No, France had Solutrean, which they think is related to Clovis. The people in La La Land think that Solutrean has some connection to Clovis, and they don't. Yeah, but there are videos on it that get lots of views because for some reason humans like to go, is it a possibility? It's possible. I like possible. I wait. I'm not gonna watch the real stuff. I'm gonna watch the possible stuff because possible. Why are humans like that? I don't understand it. They rather watch something that's possible than something that's actual. By orders of magnitude more. Like these 9-foot giants in in the pyramids and stuff. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Sal says, "Oh, great! I just did some ancient ring crack technology on my point. That's the best, right? The technology flakes. Yeah, you can find someone that says, yeah, it's a technology. Yeah, you can do a study and support anything, and that includes anything you can find in archaeology. It doesn't mean it's true." Ellen says, "David, shh, you're saying the quiet part out loud." Okay, what did he say? I missed it. Killer Cork says, "My phone battery's about to die, plus gotta do some face napping." Great chat. Take care, everybody. All right, Killer Cork, we'll see you. Take care. Jim Cooper says, "It's an ADHD autism thing, putting that stuff that keeps getting brought up. Putting off the stuff that keeps getting brought up." Yeah. And the more you get bugged about it, the more resistance you have to continue it. Yeah. It's a stupid thing, and it's not your fault. It's my fault. Mike Mason says, I have had girlfriends with kids. I still miss Drew. He was 8 when I met him, 13 when we split. He was a good kid. He's an adult now. Never see him. Yeah, that's what happens. The kids grow up and you never see them. Mike says, I have had girlfriends. Okay. Jim Cooper says, possible sparks imagination and stimulates our brains. Serotonin in ways really doesn't most of the time. I don't get it. Let's see. Alan Cole says, Harley, you can get casting bronze in different shapes. I was just letting you know my experience. Casting bronze makes me think it is more durable. Casting as in type, not necessarily to smelt. All right. I know nothing about that stuff. Smallzilla says, got me a box of mixed jasper from someone super friendly here recently. Haven't done an unboxing video yet, but super excited to jump into it. New materials always get me excited. Yeah, it is exciting. Lost Pony says, there's an AI YouTuber short with giants helping build the pyramids out of today's weathered pyramid stones. It's super hilarious. Yeah. Yep. It is super hilarious. But people watch it more than other videos that are actual reality. Yeah. Where am I? What am I going to do? I was using the big bopper on this, but I need to switch over to a smaller bopper. Yeah. To do some refinements. This one is a 6 ounce. I can't read the writing on it anymore. Another Mike Tufts bopper. So I'm thinning the tip and trying to keep an eye on the curve so I can take out the curve. This thing's coming off. Oh, it's these flakes. One of these days, these flakes are going to get between the floorboards and it's going to stick up a little bit and I won't see it and I'll drag my foot across it because that's the way it goes. But But you made me do it. You guys made me do it. Let me see. Man, that Clovis is almost finished. Gary, funny. Let's see. Ed Gould says, Mike, my son just turned 54, and about 10 years ago, he went Democrat all the way now, and now doesn't come around much or call. Yeah, that's a bummer. I'm sending all kinds of flakes across my kitchen floor by doing this. Stop fussing, just nap, because I've been waiting for 2 hours. You've been waiting all this time for me to nap? I've been waiting all this time for you to leave. Yeah. Just lurking in the background, waiting for me to start napping. We've only got like 3 minutes left, so that's plenty of time to finish this, Clovis. Yeah. We got thunder muffler on a motorcycle around here. Yeah. If not the truck, then it's a motorcycle. Back in my other house, there was a guy lived just a few houses down the street with a thunder muffler truck that you could hear him on my videos, especially in my auction videos. Somehow he knew when I was posting my auction, he would drive by multiple times. What is it with getting in your truck and going up and down the street multiple times? You guys do that on purpose, or you forget stuff? You go, I'm going to jump my truck and go down there and get that. And you get halfway down. Oh, dang, I forgot my wallet. Go all the way back to the house. And then run back out. I'm going to go down there real quick and get it. Oops, I forgot my grocery list. Run back to the house. Okay, now I'm going to go out in there and get it real fast. And take off. And then you get to the store and you go, I don't have my cell phone. What am I going to do without my cell phone? Drive all the way back home real fast. And then, okay, now I'm going to get you. Drive out. Is that what you guys do with your thunder trucks? Because that's what it seems like you're doing. Let's see. I'm missing some of the chat. Well, you guys know the time is getting close, that I'm going to end the stream. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, using your imagination in those ways boosts your brain's production of serotonin. Yes, it does. All right, let me get back to where I wasn't before. That's why that possible stuff is so popular. Oh, okay. That's why the possible stuff is so popular, because it's stimulating to the brain. I don't know. I'm stimulated by truth. Fiction is just like, I don't know, a waste. Let's see. Ed Gould says, makes you wonder why I did wrong. I don't know. What did you do wrong? Ross Wellman says, good chat, very little napping. Talk again Friday. Yeah. There's a lot of chat this time for sure. AB says, hi, I'm back from filming. Made it just in time. 1 minute to spare. Sal says, dang, Eds, that's a bummer. Okay, I missed it, but I'm not going to go back to read it. Keith says, E-Money, you're the father, of course, but he's a grown man. You can put that on yourself. No, don't end. You need an encore. What am I going to do for encore? Alan, what should I do? Lost Pony says, I did that for a year, swapping out carburetor jets. Jim Cooper says, Ed Gould, without getting into it, I would re-examine your politics, because they are crossing lines never before seen in our country beyond agreeing to disagree. My family has experienced a similar divide. Yeah, luckily in my family, we've got all kinds of politics in my family, but we don't divide. Mainly because we don't talk about it. It does produce a little bit of tension, though. Yeah. Let's see. 1 more hour of napping? Dang, I'll have to post a video on napping today. Gary says, shoot, I missed the door prize drawing. Who got it today? Nobody. Me. I got the door prize. See, I got a bunch of signs from Harley. So I'm the one that got the door prize. Let's see. Great stream. I'll be back and possibly talk some more. Have a great night. All right, Gritty the Pooh. We'll see you soon. Mike says, Ed, sorry to hear that. Tribalism is real. Meanwhile, I've been keeping my uncle since grandma passed. He has a vote blue no matter who. He's 50 and thinks his sedentary lifestyle's okay. I see. Caldwell County Digs. Do you have a video on beveled harrowhead or a point? Yeah, just look up Jack Crafty beveled or beveling or bevel. Jack Crafty bevel. I don't have a harrowhead, but I do have a Lost Lake or something like that with a bevel on it. I've got several beveled points on video. A harrowhead is no big deal because it's just a flat. It's evenly napped, so it's just barely thicker in the middle than on the ends, and they just bevel the edges. I mean, I don't know what you want to see. Just there's a bevel on that side. Flip it over. 15 minutes later. There's a bevel on that side. Flip it over. 1 hour later. I just finished doing all the bevels. Was that interesting? I guess it wasn't interesting. That's why I don't do it. Let's see. See you later, Patrick, says Jim Cooper. Hopefully Friday. All righty. Mike Mason says, Ed, sorry to hear that. Tribalism is real. Yes, yes. Always wanted to make reproductions of Utsi, the Iceman's Toolkit. Copper X included. Yep, that's a good project. Scott Lauer says, gotta go. Good night, everybody. Good night. Great stream, Pet. I'm going to send you an email. Awesome. Good. Caldwell County Digs. I found one completely twisted that's not, well, I'm not sure how it was napped. It started thick, and then they kept napping it, and it got twisted. There you go. Keith says, all you late guys to the stream, make sure you smack that like button. Yep. Lost Pony Politics. Let's just say making stone tools could really get more popular soon. Yeah. Sal says, hey, Alan, I do have an email on my channel. Yep. Smallzilla. Have there ever been beveled points that almost have a twist to the blade to the point of forward-facing projectile being plus-like? Not sure if that would be beneficial or not. There are points like the Pandale that have quite a bit of twist, but never 90 degrees. That's a modern twist on the twist. You know, the Pandales start out very thick, and then when you bevel them, it puts a twist in those, but they have to start really thick. Anything that has a twist in it starts out really thick prior to beveling. And you can see that twist a lot on the tips, especially on artifacts, because they tend to bevel the tips on many different varieties of points, and the tips tend to twist a little bit. Let's see. Ed Gould, hopefully things will get straightened out in the near future. Alrighty. Sal says, I'll be shipping your package this week sometime. Some amoeba and root beer and a braider. Awesome. Thanks, Sal. Mike says, Ed and myself are of the opinion that those things shouldn't break up a family. Oh, yes, that's true. Mike says, Jim Cooper, the topic is better taken to another channel. Yep. All right. Okay, I'm going to end the live stream here. Everybody say good night or goodbye. It's already past, and I actually needed to send something out today, and I might not be able to get to it. Post office closes at 5 here, and it's already 4:05. I might not be able to get that in the mail, but I'm going to try anyway. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream here, guys. See you on Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. It's all chat. There's no napping, so you might not want to watch it. I'll try to do a video before then, but sometimes I don't get around to it, especially if I got other projects. Yeah. But I'm not chasing that Sweetwater Biface. Nope. All right. Good night. Thank you for showing up. We'll see you next time.